Welcome to our stamped snowflake project today. These are two examples of projects in the past. We are going to be using snowflake stamps and some tempera paint and paper. And yeah, I'm going to show you how to do this today. For this project, you are going to need paper that Mrs. Shirtle gives you. Now, yours might not be white. If, as you saw, the other project had light blue paper. In this case, we're using white. Scratch paper. For a moment, you are going to need a crayon to put your name and class code on. So either KA, KB, KC, or KD. And then that's all you're gonna need the crayon for. You're gonna flip this over, and we're going to be stamping on this side of our paper, right? So, your paints are going to be on trays, and Mrs. Shirtle's going to deliver them around to you at your tables. Depending on how many kids on your class are in your class, determines how many colors of stamps we are going to be using. So for this demonstration, I have a turquoise, a dark blue, I have a metallic silver. So metallic means that it looks like it could be metal, kind of like a nickel or a quarter. And then since we have a fourth table, I do have purple too. So we're gonna do a very frozen kind of color scheme today. I'm gonna start with my favorite color, and I'm gonna start with the turquoise. Since we are using 4 tables, if you look around, in this case we're using 4, we are going to do 4 snowflakes of the same color. You are only going to use whatever stamp you pick up to begin with. So in this case, I'm just gonna pull this off to the side. I'm going to, now these are stamps, I'm gonna show you a little bit about them. The blue part is where we hold with our fingers, and this purple part is where the paint is going to go onto. Then you're gonna dip the purple part in the paint and put it on your paper. Important things to remember about stamps. Once you put it down, you can't move it. Like, you can't be like, oh, that didn't work, and try to re-stamp it. It's gonna look like it moved. That brings us to point number 2. You don't wanna move it. So I don't wanna accidentally slide it on my paper. One way to prevent that is just to press. Not real hard, but like press, and then pull up. I don't want to be, do you see my camera jiggling? Yeah, that's jiggling on my paper too. So that snowflake's like, moving all over the paper. Okay, so none of that. When you are using these, your fingertips are probably gonna get a little messy, but there should never be any paint in the palm of your hands. If there are, you're doing something very, very wrong, because really the paint should be stuck to the purple and not the blue. Sometimes a little bit gets on the blue, but like this one I'm gonna pick up, and you see there's already some on the blue. So let's take a look at this. Real close. Do you see all those globs and gloops? That's a little bit too much paint. So this is my puddle of paint. I pulled it right out of there. I'm gonna go to the side and just kind of like get a little bit of that off of there, because if it's too gloopy, it's not going to give you a very good snowflake print. Stamping is a form of print making, which basically means you're taking one image and putting it and copying it on another paper, in this case. How many times did I say we were gonna use the same stamp and same color? 4. Now, I'm going to press down and pick up. I'm gonna do it again. 2. Mrs. Turtle, that one's not showing up real good. Sometimes you might have to reload. You should only have to reload like every 2 though. I wouldn't reload every single time. 3. And I'm going to do one that is going to run off the paper. That's what the scratch paper is for. And actually, I think I'm probably gonna give you bigger scratch paper. Do you see how that stamp is somewhat on the paper, somewhat off the paper? So it looks like it's just a falling snowflake off the edge of our paper. Really like that look. Okay, when I'm done, I'm gonna put that back on my tray. And when Mrs. Turtle's going to be rotating these around. So when I see that your table's done, I might give you a new tray of paint. In this case, we're gonna go the silver. 1, 2, 3, 4. Put that down. Switch it around. Get the extra gloop off of there. 1, 2, 3. Now, do you have to do all 4? No, really you don't. I think I'm going to only do 3 of that dark blue. Maybe 3 is the magic number we want. Might be a little easier to fit all your colors on here. Ready?
I don't think. Yes, it is.
Because where am I going to put my purple? I'm going to squeeze one in here. 1. Oh boy. 2. 3. I'm going to squeeze one in here. 4. Uh-oh. I did 5. I needed one up there. All right, so there are my snowflakes. Do not, now these I haven't used yet, but do not pile them on top of another one. That's a very important thing too, because there's paint on the bottom of this. If I stick it on top of the blue part of the stamp, what's gonna happen to the blue part of the stamp? You're gonna get paint all over it, and then somebody's gonna pick it up and their hand's gonna get all messy, and then their hand's gonna be all messy besides just their fingertips. And Mr. Turtle's gonna be like, hey, why is your hand all messy like that? And they're gonna be like, I don't know. But it's because somebody stuck a stamp on top of another stamp. Okay, when we are done, we are going to carry this to the drying rack for its bunk. Make sure it's not the very tip top bunk, that's not very safe. These are going to go over to counter 1. All right, and we are going to wash our hands in sink 2.